everyone. I'm Elizabeth Machuca, and you are watching the Huntsville Huddle. And today I have Coach Archer with me, assistant coach of the women's basketball. So, Coach, tell me a little bit about your background in coaching.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. This is my 15th year coaching collegiate basketball. My third year here at Sam Houston State. My third year on the women's side. I've coached at the men's side for 12 years. I'm originally from Trinity, Texas, which is, about 15, 20 minutes down the road. So I'm a local guy. I got my start at Texas Southern as a graduate assistant, moved up to junior college. Was at the junior college level for about 5 years. Then I moved to the Division I ranks at Norfolk State, and then just up the ladder, and that's kind of what led me here at Sam Houston State.
Okay. And so how has it been coaching with the moving from the men's to the women's coach? How has that been?
It's been a pretty easy transition just because of the caliber of athletes that we have.
Okay.
We have really good athletes, so it's kind of been pretty easy, I guess, so to speak. With men, they're naturally athletic, but women are just as athletic as men. So it's been really a good transition.
Okay. And so what are some techniques that you probably had to change differently for the women, or?
I would say being a little bit more detail oriented. I think with women, you tend to have to explain more detail. They want to know the why, which is no problem, because they want to get it right. So, you got to be a little bit more detail oriented, and I'm able to get out there and still kind of show them that I can play a little bit and demonstrate some of the things that they need to know.
Okay, so you said that you were from the Trinity area.
Yes, ma'am.
How was that?
Growing up in Trinity, small area, small town, grew up playing football, basketball, track. Some of the guys that I, grew up in, went to school with, we played from elementary all the way into high school. So really good experience. We were successful in football somewhat, but more successful in basketball. So it was a good experience, growing up in a small town. Everybody knows everybody, the Friday night lights, and on Tuesdays and Fridays, everybody's playing basketball. So it was a neat experience.
Okay. And so what made you want to decide, okay, I'm going to be a coach for basketball? What made you want to do that?
Initially, I went to school to be a engineer, and I'm not that good at math. So things changed really quick. I come from a background of educators and still wanted to be around the game of basketball. So, I had an opportunity to get on at my alma mater as a graduate assistant. And so I took it and I ran with it.
Okay, alrighty. So after that, what happened after that?
Just it's difficult. It is enough to try to get a job, but I met some of the right people and people who were willing to help me, and so they put me in a good position to try to get jobs. And leaving Texas Southern as a graduate assistant, moving to the East Coast was a culture shock. So I lived in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and worked at a junior college called Lackawanna College. And that college is about an hour and a half from New York City, hour and 45 minutes from Philadelphia. So in a basketball-rich area, but, being a guy from Texas and a country guy, it's a different, brand of basketball up there. So that was a great experience, and, I was able to grow. I was able to become a head coach at the junior college level after my third year, and just kept growing, and ended up meeting another guy at Norfolk State, and he gave me an opportunity to kind of get into Division I ranks, and like I said, just from there, just grinding it out and kept working, and I had the opportunity to come back home, so to speak, and coach on the women's side.
So what were some differences that you saw from the junior college from a collegiate level?
Junior college, you're probably a little bit more hands-on. You have to do everything because you don't have the staff, the budget, the capabilities, and stuff like that. At the junior college I was at, basically kids are paying to come and play. It was a Division II junior college, basically where I got my start at.
Okay.
And so, the recruiting could be a little bit difficult, but, you find ways and different things to get kids that want to come and play for you, whether that's, gear and building relationships with coaches where they want their kids to come and play for you.
Okay, alrighty. And then from that level, like you say, you had to make the right connections in order to be where you were at.
Correct.
How important is that?
Connections and, meeting people is very important in any capacity, That's kind of how the way of the world works, It's all about who you know once upon a time, but it's now who knows you. So, building relationships and rapport with as many people as you can, it's definitely a big plus.
Okay. And whenever like you started building those connections, was it hard for you like to build a name for you to be a coach in basketball?
I would say no, just because I'm a people person, and I'm not afraid to go up and have conversations with people. And even if you're in a gym recruiting, you're able to sit by someone and spark a conversation with them. And if we sit together in a gym, I'll get your number or get your email and reach out to you and try to develop a relationship with you that way. And that way, maybe we can develop a friendship and a connection, and then I'll have that connection from here on out.
So who was the connection that made you come into the women's basketball here at SMU State?
I think with one of our assistants, Coach Mason, I knew her dad, and her dad is real close friends with a relative of mine. And I reached out to him and asked about the job, and that kind of, started the connection. And Coach Justice had another coaching buddy that I worked with at Texas Southern that worked with her at Houston Baptist. And so there were a lot of different connections to Coach Justice, and we kind of know some of the same people. So, they were able to vouch for me, and Coach Justice and we had a conversation, and so the rest is kind of history.
Okay. On the top of your head, do you know like what qualifications that you needed to come to the collegiate level over here?
Initially, when I first got into college basketball, I thought you needed a master's degree. And I was almost done with my master's degree until I found out you really didn't need it.
You're like, oh, man.
It makes you more marketable, but I mean, it's really just, someone taking a chance on you and, meeting the right person and they're saying that, hey, I want to take a chance on you and I'm going to give you the opportunity.
Okay. Was there like ever a time like you're like really trying to sell yourself that you wanted it but then did not get the chance to do it?
I mean, you miss out on a lot of jobs. I mean, even with the experience at the beginning, I mean, I got out of basketball after I left Norfolk State and I started working with a recruiting service in Dallas, and I was doing that for like 3 years, and I wanted to get back into basketball, and so I took a job at Ranger College about 4 years ago working with Billy Gillespie. And Billy Gillespie is a college basketball icon. He's coached at UTEP, Texas A&M, Kentucky, and he was at Ranger at the time, and he gave me an opportunity. And we had an opportunity to play for a national championship at Ranger College my first year there. We finished, obviously runner-up. We didn't win it, but we had a lot of great talent and a lot of great success. And so I think it helps on your resume that you're a winner. And I think a lot of people like coaches that, they know how to win.
Exactly, and that's like the name of the game.
For sure.
And I'm going to go back to what you said about recruiting. Well, how was that for you? Like, what did you look for?
Recruiting, you're looking for winners, student athletes that, first and foremost, they're good students. You're looking for kids that come from good programs, who have been well coached. You watch a lot of intangibles, maybe how they are on the bench, and that's one of the things I picked up from Coach Justice. She watches details of if teammates are cheering for each other, how kids come off the bench, how well they want to be coached and different things like that. But obviously talent is a major factor. You want kids that fit your culture and your program, and watching a kid play on the court, you have to get details. Do they fit your culture once they get to campus? So that's important in terms of recruiting.
Okay. So going into what you said about culture, how is the women's basketball culture here?
The culture is really good. Coach Justice runs a tight ship. I mean, players have to be disciplined in terms of going to the classroom, how they present themselves as young ladies, and as professionals in what they're trying to do. Being prompt, being on time, being listening, yes sir, no sir. Just running a tight ship, and trying to form student athletes into professionals as well as good basketball players.
Okay. And could you tell me like some of the differences between a head coach and like assistant coach that you're doing now?
With the head coaching role, I mean, it's all on you. You're in that seat. Everything falls on you. You have to be in control of everything. You have to know about everything. You win or lose, it falls on you. Good things, bad things, it falls on you. There's different things that you have to do throughout the course of the day day-to-day operations, meeting with the administration, fundraising, recruiting, the list goes on and on
It's a
and
big
on.
head, huh?
And as an assistant, your job is to make sure that the program is run as smooth as possible for the head coach, making sure that they don't have to deal with certain things that they shouldn't have to deal with, from a day-to-day basis operation. So it's our job to make sure that the head coach's job runs smoothly as possible.
Okay. Was there ever an opportunity where you had to step in as a head coach to fill in more of that role?
No, I haven't had that opportunity even since I've been here. But at the end of the day, I aspire to be a head coach. So I pay attention to Coach Justice and some of the things that she does, and I think she's a really, really good head coach, and she does a lot of really good things. And I think being here with her in my third year, I've learned a lot of really good things. And it's not as easy as one may think. But at the end of the day, I've had opportunities to pay attention to her and get great learning and good experience in watching her and things that she do. And when I get into that seat that she's in, I can take some of those things with me that I've learned from her.
Could you give me an example of one of those learnings that you plan on taking with you?
I think just in terms of just the day-to-day operation, when things don't go how they're supposed to, learning to adjust. I mean, we've had to make some adjustments even today. And I mean, it's not that big of a deal. The show must go on. You never let people see you sweat. Things end up working themselves out at times, and you just learn how to get things done with what you have.
So throughout a whole game, you have to keep a cool head and whatnot.
You got to keep a cool head and make sure that things are detail oriented. The coach knows what's going on outside of the things that are her responsibility, from how many timeouts you have left, where the ball is placed, on the court, how many fouls this kid has, different things like that. I mean, I can go on and on and on with details, but those are things that, the head coach must know in a quick time, in a quick turnaround with a timeout, or even at halftime, things of that nature.
Yeah. And so from being an assistant coach, what are some weaknesses or strong points that you see in the team now?
I think some of our strengths is that, we're playing hard. I think we're playing some of our best basketball right now. I mean, we had a streak, a few games ago, a few weeks ago, we had a 7-game winning streak, and we ended up losing Thursday. And I mean, that's a part of it. But I think that, at this point in time in basketball, February is where you want to be playing your best basketball. And we struggled early on, and I mean, that's a part of it. But I think right now, with the streak and our girls understanding the importance of winning now, and peaking at this point in time, I think that's going to help us going into, March Madness.
Okay. And would you have changed anything from your Thursday game to possibly winning it, or?
I mean, I think that, some of the things that we could have changed, not turning the basketball over. In basketball, you can't turn it over as much as we did against a really good Abilene team. And that's against any team. You just can't turn the basketball over. So limit our turnovers, taking care of the basketball, executing a little bit better. And I think we'll continue to get on a winning streak. I mean, we had a game on Saturday. We took care of business on Saturday. We got a major game Thursday against our rival SFA. So that's going to be a game where we definitely have to take care of the basketball, and we got to play mistake-free basketball.
And so what are some things that you were getting prepared for the game?
Defensively, like today, taking care of the basketball. SFA is a team that is going to pressure the ball, so we have to be able to take care of the basketball and limit our turnovers and execute our offense, especially down the stretch, and try to wear them down. And so against a good team like SFA, you got to play mistake-free basketball. Okay,
alrighty then. So could you go more into detail about some techniques that you're teaching them besides defense?
That's just kind of where we are right now. Defense is the name of the game, taking care of the basketball, making the correct pass, making the correct reads in your offense, defending the basketball, pressuring it, trying to turn them over. So, at the end of the day, those are some things that, we teach every day, but getting the kids to actually do it, at times can be, difficult. But that's our job as coaches, to make sure that they get it and make sure we get what we want out of them in order to be successful in that game.
All right, well, thank you, Coach Archer. This is
You're
all
welcome.
the time that we have. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.